Is it bad that we're just hating on him?
No, we'll come around. I'm sure we'll come around. What are we watching today?
This guy, Will Paterson.
He's gonna tell us what it's like to be a designer in 2024.
Is that cancelable? Make fun of British people's accents?
I'm Irish, so I definitely can.
All right, so this guy's the real deal. He's got a lot of subs.
We're gonna see what a real designer's life is like.
All right, let's get going.
Starting out in the Tesla.
Every graphic designer's day is different, and I've never really walked you.
I just want to say, if your desk looks like that,
You're not a real designer?
yeah, it's too neat. I feel like if you're that particular about everything on your desk and how it's shot, it's like,
Can you really be creative?
it's gotta, you have like a crumpled up like piece of paper of notes somewhere.
Starting off, not that good, but we'll see.
I thought I would show you my typical day as a graphic designer.
Does he live in the country?
How many shots of his Tesla is he gonna show us?
Get me a coffee, then we've got a meeting.
I can relate to the coffee. I can relate to
I mean,
this.
Driving on the highway to get a coffee? You need to be caffeinated. Okay, it's a necessary part of the day.
Sam's a graphic designer that works with us on a day-to-day basis. No, she works every day. She's lovely. She's from America.
Outsourcing labor to America? Oh, Jesus, what's happening to this country?
Anti-American Revolution reverse all over again.
And we've got a meeting about a meeting, which it sounds awful, but we just like to talk about meetings before we present work to people. So we've got that today, then a podcast.
Yeah, this should be a day in the life of a YouTuber so far.
Cosplaying as a graphic designer.
He's like, oh, I'm a graphic designer, click, click.
Who has time to record a podcast while they're working on important branding projects, you know?
I mean, I guess we're reacting to it, so what does that say about us?
We're not a real studio.
I'll normally get into the office at around like 11, but I don't come in earlier than 11. I like to wake up late and work from home at first, which is just checking emails in the morning. And most of our clients are in like different countries. We're in the United Kingdom. So if you've got American clients, you can sort of chill out for a bit in the morning.
Relatable.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, emails in the morning. That's the thing. Yeah, just dreading all the requests.
But let's just say this, he was working from home, but drove to get coffee and then drove back home.
Seems like he could make coffee,
at home. I feel like that's more the YouTuber salary than the designer salary.
First thing coming in, I get to my computer desk. I've got my coffee in hand.
What's the setup looking like? He's got the
Apple
monitor,
but he's connected to
reference
the
monitor.
laptop. Not good power.
Yeah, so $5,000 reference monitor, and then a laptop that can only handle, you know, some light Illustrator
After
work.
Effects, yeah, I don't know if he's doing much motion design.
What is this thing over here?
It's one of those like you put the button, you can like
Oh, it's like a shortcut. One of the
shortcut thing.
See,
yeah.
it's like all of this tech, like the extra gadgets is like not necessary. Some of the best to ever do it just used scissors and construction paper.
And PC.
And Huel product placement.
Oh, soy.
I'm hoping the office is warm. If you haven't noticed, the office looks bigger than you would see on normal videos because my set is actually where I do most of my work anyway. So that orange background, that set looks lovely and beautiful. However, the rest of the office is essentially a working live film set like this. This is just in the other corner. So I sat down. First thing I did was create a font or...
First thing I did was create a font. Every designer does that. Start your day, create a new font.
Speed run through 6 months of work creating a legitimate font.
Type design is so niche.
Let's see where it goes with
let's
it.
look at
Maybe
it.
it's just like a logo type. What does he mean by font?
Okay.
Start working on one of the fonts that I wanted to release. They take a lot of time and they're quite therapeutic. If you like Gundam or Lego, it's basically just building blocks of Lego, putting shapes together to create a system. I love doing them.
I don't think he knows what we're talking about.
You hate this guy?
No, he's nice. He's nice.
We've got a call with a client, a meeting where we're going to present some ideas and some concepts for them. But I need to talk to one of our designers first, prior.
Okay, designing all that font to make basically Arial.
If you copy a font that exists and make it your own, it's like you made your own font.
So you can see me here designing, putting mock-ups together for the presentation, making sure that everything is looking good for the client.
Why do all YouTube designers look like they make stuff that you can get on Fiverr? Ooh, like negative space, lightning bolt. Cool. What is this? A utility company?
Clean, it's unoffensive, uninspired, generic. Better YouTuber than designer so far.
Yeah.
Long time doing presentations for clients. It takes about as long to do the presentation as it does to design the finished logo.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, maybe if you do the logo in 5 minutes. If I was a client and I heard a designer say that, I would be like, what the fuck am I paying for? Just like, show me the working file.
Beautiful mock-up.
The little tiny little 6-point font on the bottom left corner that says like 2024.
That's how you know. That's how you know it's professional.
For the call, we need to send some documents back and forth. Me and Sam have everything strewn around on our own computers. One way of doing that is using WeTransfer and Adobe Library.
He's one of the 10 people on earth that pay for WeTransfer.
Yeah.
It seems like he's been working an awful long time on this iPhone mock-up, putting a square into an iPhone mock-up.
He really spends a lot of time on presentation.
Something that I do quite often, not every day, is I set time aside to learn. Learning new skills, learning how to become a better designer through watching content creators. Well, Skillshare today are sponsoring this video because
That was so forced.
Also, when
That's
he
so
was saying
forced.
he was learning, he was showing type design, which is what he said he starts his day off. So he's like, oh, let me learn what I do every day.
I think he's saying he's learning how to make type squiggly in Illustrator.
Oh. He's really into type. You can tell.
No, actually, I can't.
Skillshare allows you to learn from actual experts.
Yeah.
You're on YouTube already. Do not pay for Skillshare. There is a kid, probably 12-year-old kid in some country, put on the captions. They'll teach you every program in the world. I've never paid for anything. I learned Adobe, I learned Cinema 4D, I learned After Effects. You just use YouTube.
Yeah, just the underprivileged children know how to do it. Right?
They know better. They learned it on their own with their blood, sweat, and tears. And the least you could do is give them a like.
You don't need all of this different software to like do what you gotta do. Tried and true, Adobe Illustrator, you can literally do anything in that. Like you don't need to learn a million different programs. What is that really doing for you? You know, like it's all about the core of the idea. His design specifically, like you don't need shit for that. It's like the most straightforward, like, oh, like take a square and Pathfinder out of shape. Is it bad that we're just hating on him?
No, we'll come around. I'm sure we'll come around.
To that, I had a bit more time. So what I decided to do was do some more preparations for another client project that we're working on.
How often do you write the word calligraphy in calligraphy?
Let me bust down my calligraphy journal. Just keeps writing calligraphy.
Like, yeah, every day he writes calligraphy one more time.
This one's for a cool brand. I can't talk about it, but you can see some of my process of me using real paper. It's huge paper that I use Pilot parallel pens.
No designer is doing this. No designer is taking out their Pilot parallel pens and doing this.
Have you ever heard of iPad?
The tools that I use for lettering that you'll see is my iPad Pro. It's a 12.9 inch with the Apple Pencil. I've been using Adobe Fresco a lot more because it gives me more control. People sleep on that app actually because you have like rulers and shapes that guide you everywhere inside of the app.
I'll try that. Adobe Fresco.
I mean, it looks promising.
Everything else you said, both.
Is it only on the iPad? It's like...
Yeah, probably. It's probably.
All right, so you got to buy the computer, you got to buy the other fucking $2,000 iPad.
The Apple Pencil. The Apple Pencil.
So I much prefer it for certain styles of lettering, and that's what I was using here that you can see. It's really nice to have a project, a client project, where I can put my old hand lettering skills to use. I've been hand lettering.
Stop rubbing the paper. It's weird.
The amount of times as a designer that you'll be asked to create like a calligraphic, like black letter type situation is next to none.
All right, let's be honest with you. They are.
Have we in 10 years of business, have we ever needed to do this?
No.
This is a day in the life, mind you. Okay. Like a typical day.
A typical day. Let me bust down my calligraphy pens.
After that, it's podcast time. I was invited onto the Angry Designers podcast. Those two are really funny, really nice to talk with.
We're both really funny, but really not nice to talk to. So don't
even try to think about reaching out to us.
We're probably burning some bridges.
And we just started talking about all things design. They wanted to know a bit about my history, about my future, of where we're going and what we do here. So that podcast was fun. I think we spent like an hour and a half on that, an hour, just talking all things design.
Betty talks about calligraphy, his pens,
His Tesla.
So far, that's all we know. Hasn't done one real design the whole day. Did a mock-up.
Also have Matthias, who is our editor. He does all things production,
Oh, that guy looks nice.
Yeah, I like that guy.
and essentially his job is to edit videos, help record them, but something that we've been doing more often are reels and short form.
I think to your point, like this really is a day in the life of a YouTuber trying to like. All right, there's a difference between like a designer working in the industry and like a dude taking on random like little side projects, but mainly also just producing video content. Like this is not the day in the life of a graphic designer.
Yeah,
Let's
day in
get
the
that
life.
straight.
You get emails from like people pissed off or asking for some file from 10 years ago, or a lot of annoying people, a lot of great people, and it's a lot more
Yeah, you gotta,
customer service, you know.
You gotta hop into meetings with like 15 people like 3 times a day, telling you to restart an entire process that took 3 months, and
Yeah, start over.
yeah. Honestly, we're just butthurt. Like he's living the life. He's helping small businesses. Doesn't have to respond to corporate backlash.
Hey, we're on YouTube right now. Like, we're trying to copy him. So if we're making fun of him, it's because we hate ourselves.
Yeah, we're sorry. We're sorry, man. You seem like, you know,
Just too nice.
you haven't seen shit yet.
You-
But maybe maybe you took the shortcut to happiness.
Think he really is that happy? He hangs up and he's like, yelling at his freelancer, yelling at the designer, the
Yeah.
American, go back to America.
What's her name? Sam? Like, let us know. Let us know if he's nice to you. He better be treating you well because
Well,
you're
come-
a fellow American.
Yeah, we got you.
That's the most boring reel I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the day, we want to get home,
Got to charge my Tesla.
but beforehand, sometimes we go to a pub just for a quick drink after work, especially on days where it's really busy. It's nice to just be able to chill out, and we live in a really nice small town with some cool pubs. So we go there, have a quick drink.
I think maybe that's why he's so happy. He just
Yeah.
works for 20 minutes, goes to the pub in his Tesla. He mocked up something and wrote calligraphy with his pen.
And then we go home. So that day had a lot of different things happening to get you to understand a full picture of what we do, but most of the time I'm just sat in front of my computer scrolling through fonts.
It's like the same.
That's not what it's like. I promise. That's not what it's
I
like.
use the same 2 shots the whole video. Like, graphic design is not just scrolling through fonts. Like, yeah, I guess if you're making logos that are just fonts.
Sometimes
Have you heard of brand systems, brand applications, like mock-ups? Like, what are you doing, man? You know what it is? He picked an iPhone mock-up that had a slight dimension to it. So he spent the entire day skewing the icon on the screen.
Let me know in the comments what your days look like if you're a graphic designer, or if you have any questions about my day-to-day routine. Be happy to answer them down below.
Do you have questions?
Yeah, my question is, what did you do? What did you make?
Basically, if you're a real designer, it means you have to make probably 10 times that amount of design in a day. All right, so he made one mock-up. Even our freelance designer, how many mock-ups would we expect in one day?
I mean, at least
15?
Yeah, something like that.
So he's 15 times away from being our freelancer. But it's like different in the UK. They're not stressed. They don't work hard. They're like, they're just sipping their tea.
What's he doing?
He's just sitting down, man. He's just sitting down. I don't think he's doing anything. Ooh,
I mean, I would have respected this more if he literally recorded 24 hours and sped it. Like, he's like, oh, this is what it actually looks like. And it was like 5 minutes sped up of him sitting around and then looking at his computer, talking to himself.
If anyone wants to be a designer, anyone looking to be a designer, don't count on that as your day. If you're middle class, American, working in graphic design, it's going to be a lot more work than that.
I guess one of these days we should do a day in the life video.
No one wants to see that, though.
We don't have time. We don't have time
Just
to do
working.
that.
We're not going to record ourselves doing calligraphy. I'll tell you that. I'll never record myself doing calligraphy.